Going back into the one that we kind of kicked off with, right? A little controversy here. Ketlen Vieira, Raquel Pennington, man. We're arguably looking at the next title challenger for Amanda Nunes. Give or take Amanda Nunes rematching Juliana Pena, man, because we don't know, right? You did finish her, or you didn't finish her, but you 43'd her damn near, right? I mean, come on. Does Rocky Pennington get the shot? I guess let's start off with that. Does the UFC respect a veteran of Rocky Pennington's caliber enough to actually award her with the title shot?
I don't think so, Derek. I really don't think so, unfortunately, man. And we were saying it before. I feel like sometimes these old dogs in the UFC get slighted so bad just because they want to push the narrative of this. There's this Brazilian going to come in and do all this stuff. There's this storyline that the UFC pushes and narrates that makes it very hard for the old dogs to really get what's theirs. And you really have to do, and you can't be winning split decisions either. You need to win the split decisions, but you need to finish your fights. That's the only way you got to beat the narrative. Because if you're having fights like this, they're just going to keep looking over you, keep sliding you. And I feel like that's what's going to happen to Raquel Pennington. Does she get the title, Derek, or are we going to see her having to fight another young and up and comer?
I think if she does not get the title shot, then the UFC is very clearly making a stand, right? A line in the sand that says we are not a meritocracy. This is about how many pay-per-view buys can you provide. And I'm going to be honest with you, and this is no disrespect at all. Ketlen Vieira or Raquel Pennington, I think neither of these fighters bring massive pay-per-view buys. I don't think they put butts in seats. I think Vieira does more than Pennington because of that Brazilian background. But for Raquel Pennington, man, a lot of people, I said it in the pre-show. I was like, people are going to look at this like a snoozer. And all the things that were on Twitter were like, it's crazy to go from Umar Nurmagomedov, which we'll talk about, stunning knockout, right, to a Raquel Pennington-Ketlen Vieira fight. So I will say, I hope they give Rocky the championship fight, but I just don't know if they will. But let's talk about how the fight actually played out, man. I thought it went very well round one for Ketlen Vieira. And then, of course, Rocky Pennington, she doesn't slow down, man. She keeps her pace, if not amps it up a little bit, and Vieira just slows down, man, throughout the fight. Low-volume fighter, man. I'm actually going to take a quick look real quick because I think this is going to be important, man. Check this out. So when we take a look at the UFC stats, and let's just go to Ketlen Vieira really fast, and let's just see like what her output has looked like over the course of her career. So 64 strikes in this loss right here, 85 strikes in the win against Holly Holm. This is where she really stood out, right, against Miesha Tate, when she really went crazy, 113 career high in strikes. Before that, you lost to, Yana Kunitskaya. That wasn't a lot right there. Sajara Eubanks, 68, Irene Aldana, 20, which got knocked out there. Throughout her career, you can just see she's a low-volume fighter, man, and that's just not going to fly, especially against a Rocky Pennington, who, when we look at her situation, 81 strikes here, 114. She had 45 in the win against Chasson, 48, 107. The point is, even though there's low output on ends of both fighters, I do think that Rocky Pennington does have just a little tendency to throw a little bit more. So for Ketlen Vieira, we talked about it. We said this is basically Joanne Calderwood all over again when she lost to Jennifer Maia, got usurped for the title shot. What is her path back to a championship contention now for Ketlen Vieira? Because you lost to number 5. So now it's like, well, should you really get a title shot?
Oh, yeah, well, that's the question. Should you really get a title shot? Do you deserve the title shot? I think the only way we're seeing Ketlen Vieira really come back to title contention, man, knockouts. I'm trying to see the division right now. I'm struggling pulling it up, but if Ketlen Vieira can string together, let's just say 2 knockouts, right? Or a knockout and a submission and really start doing it, then I think we're starting to talk about getting her back in there. But to that point, who are we looking to see her knock out? Because there's a lot of fighters in that division that, one, are kind of stagnant and not really fighting, or already linked up, haven't, you fight them already. There's not going to be fighting you. You're not going to go against Holly Holm again, Irene Aldana again, Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena once they figure their thing out. So you're going to have to fighting down. Maybe a go against a Carol Hossa or, one of these younger up-and-coming fighters. But then you go into the same aspect we're just talking about. Yeah. You're going to be the one pushing the narrative, and then somebody else comes, steals your spot again. You're back to the same exact spot. I don't know, man. Knockouts, I guess, in a long-winded answer, that's the only way we can really see her going against the narrative of the split decision, uninteresting fights that we saw all over Twitter. Do you see another way?
I'll tell you what, man. I think that this is less of a Ketlen Vieira problem and more of a stagnant women's bantamweight division problem for the UFC. They all fight each other. Nobody really does anything. Nunes has basically just dominated the division. unless she just keeps fighting the same people she's fighting, man. Unless you move to a different promotion or whatever, I don't know. It's going to be tough, and it's going to take a long time and a lot of years off of her career, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. But good news is Rocky Pennington, man, should be next up for that title shot. So let's see it.